Funding for the Iowa Girls High School Softball Championships is provided by
The path to greatness starts early. The Iowa Farm Bureau believes in Iowa's youth and their pursuit of greatness. That's why we're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Each student's effort is important, and when one rises, we all rise to a better Iowa.
Fairway, along with Nabisco, Frito-Lay, and Sara Lee, is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Girls Sports Championships. We congratulate all the schools and student athletes participating in this year's Girls High School State Softball Championships. Fairway, proud to care for the places we work and live. By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialists, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community. The 2018 Iowa softball tournament, and it has been a great week of softball. We've already handed away one trophy. It's time to hand the Class 4A championship here at the Iowa Farm Bureau High School Sports Championships from Fort Dodge. It is the Hoover Huskies and the ADM Tigers from Harlan Rogers Park in Fort Dodge. Hello, everybody. Paul Yeager alongside Laura Leonard in this Class 4A matchup. You have a Des Moines Hoover school, Laura, a city school for Des Moines. It's been a long time since Des Moines East back in 2012 has been in this title game. Hoover has done an incredible thing just to get here, and that's winning on the road for the entire postseason.
Yeah, they had to go away from the friendly confines of their home field and win every game in postseason on the road. The last time they were here, though, as a school, they won the championship. So they're undefeated here up at Harlan Rogers Field. They have a very small squad, not a lot of depth. Each one of these players up and down the lineup can really hit the ball, and they've gotten some really good pitching as well.
Standing in their way is ADM from Central Iowa. This is their 5th trip to state, but first under their veteran coach, Rick Dillinger. In his 42nd season in high school, he has won state titles, just not with the Tigers.
Well, it's his opportunity to win another one at ADM. This is a young squad, only one senior, one junior on the team, so they're probably going to be back at some point in time. It's an opportunity for them to kind of build a dynasty.
And now let's meet some of those players as we go upstairs to Tim Fitzpatrick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and softball fans. Welcome to Rogers Sports Complex in this 4A championship softball game between the visiting team, the Des Moines Hoover Huskies, and the home team, the ADM Tigers. Let's meet the non-starters. First of all, for the visitors from Hoover. Number 4, Meadow Lecoq. Number 10, Elise Hiskey. Number 23, Alexis Polson. Number 25, Peyton Biddle. And number 29, Angela Kubalek. Your assistant coaches, Katie Feuerbach and Bailey Gilbertson. Now here's your starting lineup for the Hoover Huskies. Leading off and doing the pitching, number 2, Hannah Blackford. Batting second at second base, number 3, Jade Sharp. Batting third, the shortstop, number 17, Abby Nolte. Cleanup hitter for the Huskies and doing the catching, number 8, Hannah Portinga. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 22, Carly Benson. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 14, Deja Bates. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 11, Katie Burns. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 21, Jordan Rediker. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 1, Taylor Floyd. Head coach for the Hoover Huskies, Missy Feuerbach. Now here are your non-starters for the home team from ADM. Number 5, Callie Hazel. Number 8, Morgan Bailey. Number 9, Campbell James. Number 11, Taya Spiker. Number 12, Olivia Talari. Number 14, Emma Macedon. Number 19, Paige Jensen. Number 25, Morgan Busta. Number 26, Christina Chapman. Number 28, Lexi Claiborne. And number 30, Lexi Austin. Your assistant coaches for the Tigers, Thana Heller and Kenzie Sutton. Now, here's your starting lineup for the ADM Tigers. Leading off and playing center field, number 27, Morgan Meyer. Batting second and doing the pitching, number 23, Abby Halas. Batting third at first base, number 10, Sierra Wyant. Cleanup hitter for the Tigers, the catcher, number 15, Ashley Tennant. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 22, Brooke Hickey. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 3, Bryn Busta. Batting seventh at second base, number 7, Emily Halas. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 20, Emily Kay. Batting ninth at shortstop, number 6, Aniston Smith. Your flex player, right fielder, number 21, Emily Hatchett. Head coach for the ADM Tigers, Rick Dillinger. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to our home plate area. The umpiring crew for this contest as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. At first base, George Harwood. At third base, Tim Rogers. And calling the balls and strikes, Tony Nelson. Softball fans, it's time for championship softball.
And it's time for us to begin broadcast number 2 of the day. And it features that team right there in red, ADM. This is their defense that they will send out. Emily Kay, Morgan Meyer, Emily Hatchett, left, center, right. On the infield at first base, Sierra White, Emily Halas, the twin sister of the pitcher Abby, is at second. Aniston Smith at short, Brooke Hickey at third. And the catcher is Ashley Tennant, and the pitcher is Abby Halas. Abby is a sophomore, and these are a look at her statistics as she has had a season that she's been able to find a 35-7 record over 278 innings. She's allowing 1.75 is her ERA, and opponents are only batting 171 against her. So Laura Leonard, this is the batting order that she will face, and it is a good one for the Des Moines Hoover Huskies. Hannah Blackford, Jade Sharp, Abby Nolte, Hannah Portinga, Carly Benson, Deja Bates, Katie Burns, Jordan Redeker, and Taylor Floyd. We've got keys to the ball game. And what are they, Laura?
Well, what Hoover needs to do is they need to score first, and they need to score early. Against Charles City, they had a 5-run first inning. Against Sergeant Bluff Luton, they had an 11-run third inning. So they scored early and they scored often in those first 2 games. Fundamental defense. They've committed only 36 errors the entire season. They've had 5 here, however, in the tournament. And then for ADM, what they need to do, they need to handle the momentum. They're on the big stage. Don't let the big game get to them. Just play their game, and then don't allow for that big inning. They can't afford to give up a lot of runs. They did that against Newton. They were consistently giving up runs to Newton, but they were able to come back.
Halas and Tennant, your battery. First pitch swung on, ground ball to second, over. One Halas to Sierra Wyant, and there's one away. So that'll bring in Jade Sharp. So Blackford, 8 of these 9 Hoover Huskies play on the same travel team. So they're very familiar with each other. We're going to tell you about how Hoover has not played a lot of games this season as Hoover. They've played a lot of games together as a team, as the first pitch to Jade Sharp is a called strike.
Well, they cut down the schedule because they do have limited numbers. They only have 14 players on the team, and so just for safety reasons, keep your players healthy. You don't want to wear them down. They shortened up their practices. They wanted them to be fresh for every game.
Well, they had a day off yesterday after winning in the semifinal. Ground ball again towards second. Halas over to Wyant again. 4-3 if you're keeping score at home. That'll bring in Abby Nolte as Halas to the other.
You know, we saw Emily Halas have a really nice defensive game in the semifinals. I mean, she made some spectacular plays to keep them in that ball game as Newton was trying to rally and have the big innings. She shut them down pretty much single-handedly.
That was almost, you want to call it a heavyweight bout, because both teams just kept countering blows from the other team, and it was just you score 2, we score 3, you score 4, we score 5. You know, I mean, it was just a great semifinal back on Wednesday. The 1-1 is lifted high in the air towards center, going back and making the catch in front of the wall. Morgan Meyer takes away a home run from Abby Nolte to retire the Huskies in the first. What a play in center.
Spectacular play, and with the wind blowing across the outfield, she was just able to stay with that. Meyer just kept going back, and finally got up against the fence. She didn't really know where the fence was. She just had her eye on the ball and then turns and squares up, and really, that was going off the top of the fence or out.
Look at that other look at it. You can see, yeah, you could see from our angle, it was pulled back. That glove, almost the full wrist, was over the fence and pulled it back over that yellow.
I think she saved a run right there.
So now Hoover will come out and play defense after going 1, 2, 3 in that inning with the following lineup. Carly Benson in left, Taylor Floyd in center, and Jordan Redeker in right. Jade Sharp is at second, Abby Nolte at short. At third, Deja Bates. The first base person is Katie Burns. And the battery is Hannah Blackford to Hannah Ortinga. The lineup looks like this when it looks at statistics for Hannah Blackford. She's 10-3 on the year, 106 innings pitched for her Hoover team with an ERA of 2.88. And what does she throw, Laura? And in terms of pitches, what type of a pitcher do you expect her to be? I mean,
well, she's going to hit spots, and she's not real overpowering, but she's got great command of all of her pitches, and she'll work the zone high and low. She'll spin it a little bit, try to keep these hitters off balance.
And there's your lineup of Meyer, Halas, Wyatt, Tennant, Hickey, Busta, Halas, and Kay. And Aniston Smith. So from the left side is Morgan Meyer. Change up lifted between second and right, drifts all the way back into the glove of Jordan Redeker. 1 pitch, 1 out.
And we saw Blackford go to that changeup a lot in that semifinal game. That's kind of a fallback pitch for her. She likes to throw it. And if you throw it too often, though, if you go to the well once too often, you might get burned. But she did a good job of mixing it in the semifinals.
It's like when you're playing 500 or a card game and you slough trump on the opening hand. That's kind of the way it feels right there.
Exactly. I just, you know, you don't want to, you know.
I've got the right and the left. Another changeup. Depends on what you're feeling, because these pitchers, when they're warming up, Laura, they know what's working and what's not in warm-ups. They're like, you know what? My change is working great. Let's go with it.
Yeah, you know exactly. When you're in the bullpen, you're warming up before a ball game. And there's certain days where the rise ball might be working better, or the drop ball might be working better, or boy, that change is really working. You know that that's going to be your go-to pitch most of that game. The next time you come out to the circle, it could be completely different.
Halas rips it towards center, going back a couple of steps and hauling it in is Taylor Floyd. 6 pitches, 2 outs for ADM.
Both of these teams are really getting their cuts. And they're making good contact. They're getting some solid shots. Both these teams are going to have to play some good defense. And that wind's picked up a little bit here.
I think you're right. And it's maybe shifted just a little bit more in a true, almost blowing out to right. It was more of a left to right. Now it's more of a out to right. 79 degrees at first pitch. We've just had outstanding weather here for these finals, both last night and tonight, as Wyant is ahead. 2-0, rips it towards third, fielded by Bates. Over to Burns. And the Tigers are retired. 1, 2, 3. And it has been a beautiful weather week, and the Diamonds have just been in
1, 2, 3.
Great condition as they had the tarps pulled the other night, and it was just one of those things that they tried to make sure Jim Winter's crew, in fact, Jim Winter is coming out right now. Now, I don't think he knows what's about to happen. I know what's happening. You know what's happening.
Let's listen in and see if we find out so everybody can know what's happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the home plate area, where Executive Director Gene Berger and members of the Fort Dodge grounds crew have a special presentation to make. Today's games marks the final time Jim Winter will be taking care of the state softball fields. For 36 years, Jim has ensured that our teams have played on the best of championship fields. As a small thank you for your support of the Iowa Girl, here's your ticket punched for one of your favorite pastimes, the Minnesota Vikings. Enjoy a game on us. Jim Winter, thank you for 36 years of support for the Iowa Girl. But wait, there's more. From Jim's maintenance staff, for 36 years, Jim has put in a lot of time and effort into making Harlan Rogers the best sports complex in the state. Many young men that have worked here under Jim's guidance, and all of them have said this is the best job they have ever had, mainly because of Jim's leadership, mentoring, and tremendous work ethic. From the past and current Harlan Rogers staff, we would like to thank Jim and wish him the very best in his next adventure. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Winter.
Well deserved for Jim Winter and his crew. These guys that work with him throughout the year and in this tournament, they clearly have a lot of fun. They do an excellent job of keeping this field in order. Jim, earlier today, Gene Berger told me, the head of the union, that he was invited to a board meeting, and they said, Jim, do you want to say anything? You know, we'd like to thank you for your service and say, you know, thank you, and would you like to say anything? And Jim couldn't speak. The emotions were too much for him.
Well, he's put a lot of time and effort into taking care of these fields in this complex and maintaining it in spectacular conditions. And we've seen it through many years where they've had these fields ready to play through rain and wind and heat. And I mean, they keep them in pristine conditions. And what a tribute and well-deserved, because he has done such a great job of having these fields in fantastic shape for not only this tournament, but many, many other tournaments that come up here to play.
Batting for Des Moines Hoover is Hannah Portinga. You know, in Jim's crew, you know, we've talked, in the last game, we talked about the long game, the late game. Well, part of that was because we had a couple of rain delays. They had the tarp on the field 2 or 3 different times that day and were able to kind of keep the rain from impacting the field tremendously. They were able to keep that water away, and we were able to play softball. Otherwise, we probably would have lost at least 3 of those games last year.
Yeah, that was a great effort to get everything playable.
Ground ball over to first, and making the play on Portinga is Annison Smith, and digging it out is Sierra Wyant.
That's a great dig over there at first base. That ball's in the dirt. And first baseman with good hands, Wyant, picks this one clean as it goes in the dirt, and she stretches and secures it.
Yeah. Nice play there as Halas finds the inside part of the plate. That is Carly Benson, a .239 season hitter. The junior fouls it behind home. Chased away. There's that 61. That's from her other team. Their colors are green, Hoover green, and orange. So they're used to wearing that green. Rise ball gets away from Benson, and that's the first strikeout of the day for Abby Halas.
Yeah, I think Benson knew it as Halas lets go with the rise ball. She knew it. You can see that look on her face. I needed to lay off of that one, but it's too enticing.
Deja Bates made a great play at third, back in the first. Pops up the first pitch, and it'll go out of play here off the first base side, or third base side. ADM, that's Adele, DeSoto, Minburn, west of the Des Moines Metro off I-80 in Dallas County. If you're like, where is that ADM? Isn't that plant in Cedar Rapids? Hoover, we were asked earlier about where Hoover exactly is in Des Moines. It is one of the northern schools in the Des Moines district. Hoover is between Merle Hay Road and Lower Beaver, Meredith and Aurora.
You cannot touch the dirt and go to the ball. You got to wipe that off, okay? I got an illegal pitch. It's a ball in the batter. One ball in the batter.
So now it's an illegal pitch because of what you heard the home plate umpire, Tony Nelson,
went
say.
to the ground, picked up the dirt, and didn't wipe it off. We got one ball, 2 strikes.
Rick Dillinger in the dugout looked in, asked what it was. I said, okay, I got you.
Just want an explanation of it.
1-2, and that one is just off the plate. Good look from our camera behind home. Rick Fuller, Phil Blowbaum out there on the lift. If they're up too much higher, they'd be shaking in that breeze today. Up in the zone, chasing it is Bates. That's the second strikeout. That's the second full inning that the Huskies haven't been able to score. We played 1.5 here in this Class 4A state title game.
No strikes. You know, you can be selective. You don't have to hit her pitch. I'm not telling you not to change up because I think it's a very fat pitch for you to hit tonight, okay? So attack any pitch, but make sure you attack the pitch. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
All right, let's get her back.
There's Rick Dillinger, and here is my conversation earlier from the District 5 representative from Grundy Center, Iowa. It's Mark Buskel of the Iowa Farm Bureau. So, Mark, the big question, why is Farm Bureau involved with these championships?
Farm Bureau's involved with these championships because they're excited about the youth of Iowa. This tournament is one of the best in the country, and we're proud of it. And we're just happy to recognize the girls here today and support them.
There's a lot of great teams, whatever the sport. They do get a commemorative piece that they can keep that memory alive for a little bit longer. What is that?
It's our signature ball program, and we've been doing it for quite some time. And they get a signature softball for to remember the day that they were at the state softball tournament here in Iowa. And the kids really appreciate it.
And we appreciate you being here, Mark. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for that conversation. And that helps us bring you this broadcast on statewide Iowa Public Television. And we're hoping you're watching us either on the air or online at IPTV.org. And you've seen this is game 4 as this ball is in foul territory and off the front of the glove of Deja Bates. She chased it, gave good run after it, but then had to flip the glove under, and that's even harder to catch.
I think this is a wind ball as she takes a couple steps back and then really has to chase it, and at the last minute, it just falls off of her glove. I think she was trying to take a peek to see where she was on the field, and she took her eye off of it. That's when she was not able to glove it.
And this is about average foul territory for most softball fields. It's not, spacious or things like that, but it is different than your own field. And these girls have, all girls, not just Hoover, but ADM, all these teams, they have played on a lot of diamonds in their career. In school ball, in Little League, and 10U, 11U, these teams have been together, and this group of ADM, they've been together as the changeup is pulled over the media area down the left field line and foul. You think of all the innings that these parents have sat through, all the tournaments they've gained, and it comes down to one final game for some of them.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you think back on that going up through all of the levels, and you get to this one, and some of these girls are not going to go on and play after today when they graduate. They're, some of them are going to continue a career in college, but this could be the final game that they play and that the parents are going to sit in the stands for. And
you think of the places they've been, whether it's around the state or Ground ball, back to the pitcher, over to first, Blackford to Burns, and quickly 2 away as after Tennant flew out to center. So neither team wanting to play much small ball because they haven't got anybody on base yet.
No, they haven't, and both these pitchers doing a good job in the early innings, working quickly and being very efficient with their pitches.
Foul ball towards the right side as Thana Heller reached out and almost grabbed it.
She thought about it.
She did.
And then she pulled the hands back, and Thana Heller's been around the game for a long time and coached at East and was the head coach, assistant coach at East, head coach for a while, and now over here at ADM, I think doing maybe a little with DMAC,
Yeah,
isn't
she's
she?
assisting at DMAC as well, and it helps when you're, you know, you got a coach who's got 42 years experience. Why not add a little bit extra experience? Changeup is going to be lifted towards center. Playable for Floyd. Floyd makes 2 outs in that inning. There's 3 now on the board. We've played 2 full innings, no score.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh.
It's happening.
From heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the brain, seeing the beauty through the. Hey, you burn me up, believer. Last things last, you're the face of the future, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh.
This is what I want the world to see.
But they rain down like.
Back in beautiful Fort Dodge, Webster County, Iowa here as the fans are just soaking up the sun, enjoying this beautiful Friday evening in Iowa. I believe they call this Chamber of Commerce weather.
It is Chamber of Commerce weather.
Swung on and missed. Katie Burns on the first offering from Abby Halas here in the third. Burns, Redeker, and Floyd. If anybody gets aboard, they'll flip the lineup and go up to Hannah Blackford. Second one sails out of the zone from Abby Halas. So Burns in the quarterfinal game, 1 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. Halas deals, swung on and missed. So ADM, you know, these two schools really not that far apart in all intents and purposes. What are we talking here, 40 miles? Maybe at most?
If that, yeah.
And in those 40 miles, there's a strike 3 from Burns. That's the third of the game for Halas. So ADM, you've got Dallas Center Grimes just up the road, made the state tournament. Earlham, which isn't that far away, made the state tournament. So take a look at that rise ball. Then you have the Metro schools as Redeker takes the first pitch between short and getting it is Aniston Smith. West Des Moines Valley was here playing at the state tournament. And, you know, quite a few teams in central Iowa this year playing on the finals, for that matter, not just playing in the tournament.
Well, an accomplishment for Hoover, too. One of the, well, since 2012, that was the last time a Des Moines public school was in the state championship game.
And Hoover, you talked about it in the open, Laura. Hoover, the last time they were here, they are undefeated at the state tournament. Problem is, they hadn't been here since 1982. Changeup goes inside.
Well, if you're going to be that far apart between your appearances at the state tournament, you might as well win them all, right? That's the thinking of Hoover is we're here, might as well keep that record intact.
In 4A, you've got ADM and Dallas Center Grimes. They matched up in the first round. ADM won 9-1. Newton, which is on the other side of the Metro, take a string that you pull from, say, Hoover to ADM, put it the other way, and you've got Newton. Hoover in 4A, and coming up in 5A, we've got another Central Iowa team in Indianola, and they'll face another Quad City area team in Pleasant Valley. Popped up, playable, but a tough one. Yeah, that's a great effort by Ashley Tennant, but she had no chance on that one. Floyd gets new life.
And you get a chance to see the little bit of a red streak in the hair there. A lot of these players do some fun things when they come to state tournament, just to maybe make a little statement, that kind of thing. I think we'll see some of that later on with Pleasant Valley as well.
Taylor Floyd swings and misses. The 4th strikeout of the game for Abby Halas.
Look,
She's faced the minimum.
The only thing in the game we're doing wrong. The only thing we're doing wrong is when we have 2 balls, no strike, we can be very selective in what we do. She throws first pitch changeup. What are you doing hitting the ball? I mean, that's the best pitch she's going to give you. If it is, there's a problem. Okay, so come on. I know you want to attack, but attack pitches that you're really going to handle, that you can really drive. Okay, but don't lose the idea of you attack the ball. Here we go. Come on now.
Rick Dillinger with some insight there, and they are trying to solve Hannah Blackford. As she throws here, Laura, as we take a look in super slow-mo.
Uses a little wrist over to get some spin on the ball. She does a good job with that changeup. She's got great arm motion, good whip on the arm.
Blackford in the tournament so far, she's given up 3 earned runs. She's only walked 1 batter, and she struck out 7. And she pitches here in the 3rd to ADM. Emily Halas, Emily Kay, and Aniston Smith. First pitch to the younger of the Halas sisters by 3 minutes. Emily the twin. First pitch is a ball. Ripped down the line, fair ball past the diving shortstop Nolte. And on base for the first time for either team is ADM as Emily Halas gets a hit. Snuck it between 3rd and short.
And just got there quickly that Bates couldn't get a glove on it. Nolte makes a great effort to try to glove it, but that ball got out to left field very quickly. Good solid hit.
The bunt is laid down about 3 feet in front of the play. The play to first, back to second. But the job is done by Emily Kay. The sacrifice as Halas goes to second. Look at that bunt. Fielded by the first baseman Burns, back to Sharp. And then Sharp throws over to Nolte, but it's not in time.
That was a textbook bunt. That you just catch the ball with your bat and deaden it.
And now ADM moves up the runner again. Aniston Smith. Again, another bunt, and that puts Emily Halas at 3rd with the top of your lineup. What I was going to say, but by golly, ADM hasn't given me a chance to say, the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9, has been really, really effective for ADM in this last 2 games here at the tournament. Change up towards second. That's playable, and somehow Blackford gets out of the leadoff hit. ADM strands one. We played 3 full innings, no score.
You all know what she's giving you. Have confidence. Head on the ball. Hit the ball. Got it. First pitch is always there. Do it now on 3. 1, 2, 3. Do it now!
All right, well, you just got a chance to hear Missy Feuerbach, and we're going to speak with her in just a moment. Good story of her, but let's take a look at ADM's pitcher, Halas. This is Abby.
And you can see the same kind of wrist action that we saw with Blackford, and making that ball move, getting some spin, gripping those seams, making that ball dance a little bit as it goes to the hitter.
And she's going to be back out here in a moment, Abby Halas, and she'll face the top of the order for the Hoover Huskies and their coach right now, Missy Feuerbach, joining us now. Coach, early on in this contest, neither team really getting much on the ball. What are you telling your squad to kind of square it up and put something in play?
No, yeah, we just talked to our girls. Our top of the order is up right now. We've all seen her now once. We know what to expect. We have a little bit more confidence. We're putting the ball in play. We're just hitting right at people. So we just got to keep hitting, and we'll find the gaps.
Hannah, how she's playing? She's pitching well right now.
Yes, she is. She's keeping the ball right around the plate, throwing a lot of strikes. HP, our catcher's calling a good game so far.
All right, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Missy Feuerbach, no stranger to the state tournament, played for Regina, Iowa City Regina in the tournament. Her and her sister, who is her assistant coach at first base, another twin. And so now we'll flip over, and speaking of that pitcher, it's Hannah Blackford, 1, 2, 3. And as Coach said, they've seen her once. Let's see what they can do with the second time through. Is that true? Does that matter? Is that just Coach
Seeing
speak?
a pitcher a second time? Is that what you're... Yeah, I think it does matter. I mean, you have the opportunity not only in your at-bat, but to sit in the dugout and see her and see what she's throwing and kind of see if she is in a routine, if there is a pattern to what she's throwing, or can you see how she grips the ball? Is there a little tell about a pitch that you might anticipate? And so here you go, first time or second time around, leadoff hitter on.
Blackford gets the hit and will stay at first. Blackford's had a great tournament from the plate. She gives way to Jade Sharp, who puts the bunt down, fielded by the third baseman, Brooke Hickey, onto Wyant. Blackford goes to second on the sacrifice.
Again, both of these teams very fundamentally sound when it comes to bunting.
And Nolte is going to get an intentional pass, and that's something Coach Dillinger did in the semifinal game against Newton's best player, Emily Voltman hit a walk-off homer in the quarterfinal. He walked her 5 times on Wednesday, intentionally.
Yeah, and he said, you know, he goes, I sometimes hate to do it, but I'm not gonna let the great players beat me. And he has employed that strategy, and it worked for him, and he got him to the semifinal, into the championship game here tonight.
Halas pitches, popped up towards short, playable, infield fly. So the second out is on an infield fly. The runners stay at first and second. It's up to Carly Benson to keep something going. You know, Coach Dillinger said when he was coaching at North Polk, there was a game against Solon when he walked their best player over and over again. And so it's not a new concept. It's just easier now. You just say, I'm walking you. You don't have to throw the 4 pitches.
Right, and that's just a way. Softball is a fairly quick game, but it's just helping speed it up a little bit. And, you know, sometimes, and very rarely, when you were pitching those 4 pitches and the intentional walk, did one ever get by the catcher, but every once in a while, one would sneak by.
Yep. Carly Benson, the junior, playing left field. And that ball is a called strike. Runners won't be moving on the pitch, but they will be moving on the crack of the bat with 2 outs here. Fouled into the screen behind home.
Blackford getting a pretty good jump out there at second base. Aniston Smith is playing more in the hole over there, a little bit closer to third, so she can get a pretty good jump all the way out to where shortstop is playing.
Benson didn't like the call from the umpire, but that is the 5th strikeout from Abby Halas. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th, no score.
There is a deal to be made there.
It comes down to the votes.
On this election night, 2 wins in the biggest races.
You broke your silence.
We move forward.
But then you paid the price.
When the smoke clears, you and I against the world. That's what you told me.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me.
We ride the highs and lows.
Calls for action after the school shooting in Florida.
It's hard to say what motivated President Trump to threaten to veto this bill.
What are they saying about the use of these weapons?
This is wild times with big issues.
Coming back to prison is not an option.
All that and more
when the smoke clears.
The green and gold of the Hoover Huskies have made the trip up. A lot of those, if you take a look in that audience or in that cheering section, I guess that's in the outfield. But the one behind home, Laura, you're going to see a lot of players from that 1982 team from the Huskies. They have really been on board with this new era of softball at Hoover. You can see there some of them are wearing even the old shirts. Saw a lot of those earlier in the week. Some of those players from that 82 team. Kind of fun to relive and support the alma mater as that pitch is a ball, and now 2-0, Abby Halas at the plate, the pitcher trying to help herself.
You know, it is kind of fun to be able to follow your high school if you're still around the area and you still have pride in your high school. A lot of players will come back and follow their teams, and I know when the Roosevelt girls made it to state basketball, it was a great thing to be able to follow them, and you do take a little sense of pride in that. And I know these Hoover players, I know actually several of them had played with and against several of them later on after college.
Halas rips it down to right, gets past the right fielder of Redeker, and Halas is at second to start the fourth inning.
Now that was a shot out to right field. Redeker kind of misplayed that, and this is a team that prides themselves on solid defense. That just took a funny hop and it got through the legs of Redeker, and that puts ADM in a pretty good position to start off this inning.
Coming in will be Sierra Wyant, and it was fielded. Okay. We have I throw down to second, not in time.
And Portinga has been known to do that. She'll just throw from her knees, and she's got a really strong arm. Will throw behind that runner, start in the semifinals, pick off a runner.
The last play to Halas was a single with an error. That's the first error of the game, and we'll see if ADM can cash in on that miscue. Wyant, last trip up. Grounded out. She rips that one and almost hits the tarp down the left field line. The tarp is okay. Wyant playing first base has been busy. But not too busy because it's been 5 pitches. Base hit up the middle. Halas is going to be waved in to score and is safe at the plate. Down to second is Wyant, and ADM strikes first.
Solid single right back up the middle. Floyd was playing fairly deep, but boy, she's got a gun for an arm and made it close at the plate. It just short hops Portinga. Might have been close at the plate. I think she would have gotten in, but what a throw from center field.
Wyant was 3 of 7 coming into today. She delivers a good hit there, right up the middle. So Coach Furbach talked about seeing a pitcher the second time. ADM is seeing Blackford for the second time and making contact. And that one's out of the zone. 2-0. Tennant had a 3-run homer in the semifinals. Went 2 of 3 after going 0 for 3 in the opening game.
Now she coming into the tournament, 14 home runs coming into this tournament. Number 1, that led Class 4A in that category. She's got pop in her bat.
And she hits it towards second. It's fielded cleanly, and thrown out is Jade Sharp to Katie Burns. Going to third is Sierra Wyant.
A good piece of hitting, too. Hit to the right side of the field, move that runner a little bit closer.
So now, Brooke Hickey. The umpire asks, batter, you got to get in here. We got to play. You have 20 seconds between pitches.
They're bringing the infield in just a few steps, not very close, but just want to try to cut that runner down if she's going on contact.
The bunt is down. It's a squeeze, and the play at the plate. She's out, blocked. And now the umpire saying, or the coaching staff is saying she dropped the ball, but
Time.
They're going to confer quick to see if it happened on the transfer or if the ball was dropped during the play.
Tagged her out, but I had the ball on the ground after the tag.
I can't dispute that.
I just want you to know, did you guys see the ball come out?
I did not see the ball come out.
I have the runner up.
Yes, I did not see the ball come out.
So
I can't dispute what you said at all.
I know the ball came out. So I'm gonna have to give her home on the safe call with the ball coming out. Yeah, safe.
Tony Nelson, George Harwood, and Tim Rogers confer.
Get a look at it here. Push it to the right side. The good flip.
Okay, that's what I couldn't see from before. That ball wasn't in there. Never was.
Yep, that's a good call. That's a good job by the umpires of coming together, talking about it, talking it through, and she never caught it cleanly. They had her at the plate, but she did not glove that ball and hold on to it.
2-0 ADM, ground ball towards second. They go to second, gets the lead out, and they do erase Hickey as Busta, the designated player, goes down to first on the fielder's choice. So Hoover gets the lead runner for the second out of the inning. That'll bring in Emily Halas, who's playing second base today and has all season, but it's the first time on varsity that she's played second. Just go where the coach needs. Lifts it foul down the right side.
Yeah, said it was the coach's idea to move her over to second, and normally third base catcher, so a different look. You're looking from the different side of the field and having to field things on the right side as opposed to being at third base. So a little bit of adjustment, but the way we saw her play in the semifinals and the way she's played in this tournament, I don't think she's had too much of a problem.
Popped up and chasing it down. Abby Nolte, great defense right there. Stops the rally there for the Huskies, or for the Tigers, but not before they score 2 runs here in the fourth to give ADM the lead.
Yeah. Keep it up. You can do this. Play our game. Attack mode on 3, 1, 2, 3. Attack mode!
Coach Furbach there. She's a teacher in the Hoover District, Family and Consumer Science, her sister's in the district. And a guy who taught a couple of years and has coached a couple of years is Rick Dillinger. And Coach, thank you for joining us mid-game. We had a chance to see the replay there at home. You clearly saw it from there. How do you control what you're doing to not impact the girls on a play like that?
Sometimes that's difficult to do, to be honest. But, you know, everybody gets emotional, and the umpires are doing a good job. So, I can't complain about anything. We just got to keep working hard and try to get this thing won.
All right, this team playing well mostly on your pitching right now. Abby's throwing great. What's she doing well?
She's throwing very well with her movement. Her location's been good. And we just got to keep it up.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
His first coaching job was in 1976. Coached at Danville, Iowa, in southeast Iowa. Then at North Polk on the south side of Ames, north side of Ankeny, however you want to refer to it, in Des Moines, and now has been at ADM. Drives 43 minutes one way. And I said, so what do you think about in that time? He says, I usually flush the game. He says, when I used to live half a mile from the field, I usually came home in a foul mood. My wife wasn't so happy with me.
Yeah, the family appreciates it when you have a chance to go through the game in your mind on the way home. You have a little time to decompress, and then you don't talk about it so much at the dinner table or that evening when you get home.
So he knew, you know, we asked him Wednesday, you know, what are you going to do? Are you going to scout Hoover? And he's like, he had scouted the whole tournament field, and he probably had already scouted and put mini reports on the regional finals. Well hit ball towards center, straight away, over the fence. It's a home run for Deja Bates. Touch 'em all.
There is a fan out there in that little cluster of Hoover fans. Got a sign up with a target on it, and she just about hit it with that one.
Deja, that pitch got up, and she ripped it. Let's see this one again.
That was a pitch right down the middle of the plate. You can see over here to the right side, fans with the target. I think he's taking credit for that one.
The Hoover fans have got their target up again, as Katie Burns will try to replicate what Deja Bates just did.
Katie Burns is a player that coming into the season had the mindset that she was probably going to be in the outfield, but they have moved her to first base. And as all the pieces fell into place for this Hoover Husky team, as we talked about, not very deep, only 14 players on this roster. So you've kind of got to mix and match, and everybody has to be willing to accept the role.
The 2-1 is low, 3-1. And when asked what it's like to be in the championship game, Katie says, OMG. Using today's language on an old guy.
Did you have to look that up?
No, I knew that one, and she draws the walk.
There's some things that I have to look up that they talk about, and Coach Rick Dillinger is going to take a quick timeout, and I think it's a great timeout to pull everybody into the circle and talk. And it's just, we've seen this in the earlier game today. One hit kind of shakes the team up.
You're okay, but you got to come back on this next batter. You're getting too careful. Throw the ball. All right? Can't get careful right now. Okay? Look, you are 9 outs away. Well, when I talk about being competitive, let's see how competitive you really are. Show me.
And that's something we asked the sisters, the twins. I said to Emily, which one of you is more competitive? And she goes, oh, well, we both are. And she says, Abby has just a little more, and she called it grind.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I love the fact that Coach Dillinger challenged her. You know, see how much of a competitor you are.
The bunt gets away from the first baseman. Burns is going to be held at third. Redeker is safe at first. And that one will be ruled, I'm sure, an error on, they're going to, on the throw. Okay, they're going to call that on the throw, so E2. So now first and second for Taylor Floyd. There's a good look at Redeker. Ripped. Foul. Third base umpire, Tim Rogers, both hands in the air.
Took a long look at it before he raised the hands and making sure of that call, because infield was drawn in, and Floyd just took a rip at that one.
Let's see what Hoover has now with nobody out, first and third. Going down to second, uncontested, will be Redeker. So now it's second and third with nobody out, the 9th-place hitter, your center fielder, Taylor Floyd. There's a look at Redeker. Burns is at third. Ripped, up the middle base hit. That could likely score 2 and will. Oh, holding, and going to second will be Floyd. with a single that scores a run. Burns ties it up by scoring on the hit by Floyd. Right up the middle, Laura.
Yeah, right back. Timing is perfect. Right back up the middle. And Halas could not get the glove on that. Coach Feuerbach holding the runner right away. Saw that Meyer was closing in on that ball in the outfield. Was not going to chance a runner getting thrown out at home.
The pitch is called a ball, and we have a new ball game. Tied at 2 here in the top of the 5th. Hoover 21-7. Didn't play any games on a weekend to allow most of these girls to play in tournaments otherwhere for another team. Coach said they were playing softball in a competitive nature. I'll take it. High fly ball to right. This one is way out. 3-run homer. Hannah Blackford, touch them all. The Huskies take the lead 5-2.
She was able to turn on that pitch. Looked like it was down low, went down after it, and drove it to deep right field.
Kind of reminds me of another left-handed swinger from a Des Moines school not too long ago that hit a pitch like that with no doubt. Remind you of Brooke Wilmus at all right there on that home run?
Same situation, very much like.
Very much like it.
In a situation with runners on, they need the big hit, and they certainly got it from their pitcher.
Blackford's going to have to do something really weird to not be, in my eyes, captain of the all-tournament team for after that play right there. She was already 4-7 coming into today, and she's 2 for 3 today with a 3-run homer as the play is made Hickey to Wyant. And you know, Coach Feuerbach, I think one of the reasons she held that player, that runner at third before, is she's got the top of her order coming up. 1, 2, 3. Hoover scored 11 runs on 9 hits and 3 errors against Sergeant Bluff Luton on Wednesday. They sent 16 batters in the top of the 3rd. She's thinking, nobody out. Why get an out at the plate?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You've got the rally going, and you don't want to stop the momentum by getting a runner thrown out at the plate, knowing that you've got hitters 1, 2, 3, 4 coming up behind.
7th Husky to bat is Abby Nolte, the shortstop. Rise, doesn't move much.
Came into this tournament hitting .597.
Line drive up the middle, takes off Halas's glove. No way Aniston Smith's gonna make that play, and that's a base hit. You'll see her glove come up. She put her hand up. That's a couple that have just gone right up the middle.
They're starting to time her pretty well now, and she's gonna have to start mixing some pitches, Halas is to try to get these hitters back on their heels.
Ripped foul by Hannah Portinga.
Even the foul balls are solid contact.
Yeah, that's got to be a concern if you're ADM right now.
Well, and you look at the pitchers for ADM, and Abby Halas has thrown all but 4 innings this entire year. So she has been their main pitcher.
Ground ball to third. They go to second to get the out. On to 1, not in time. Fielder's choice, a double play would have gotten them out of the inning. But I tell you what, Hickey had no doubt where she was going with that.
Right, immediately knew what she needed to do. Get that lead runner, don't allow another runner into scoring position, and she erases that runner going from first to second.
Portinga will have a courtesy runner, and it is Meadow Lecoq. As they register that in the book, get it upstairs. The 8th grader. Brown liner right up the middle, another base hit. And Carly Benson was the 9th batter. So the Huskies have now batted around here in the 5th.
Now you talk about 8th graders. This is a very young team, and as we have said before, only 14 players on this team, 1 senior and 4 8th graders that they have pulled in.
Popped up, possibly playable, but now it drifts out. If the wind was as strong as it was earlier, that probably comes back, which means it's fly time here in Fort Dodge.
I just tried to slap one. I'm not quick enough.
Reducing the population.
I'll get one by the night, end of the night.
Benson rips it down that left field line again. And just like you said, hard hit even on the foul. This is Bates, not Benson. Benson's at first base. Bates started the inning with a home run to straightaway center.
Well, we knew this was a potent lineup for Hoover. We saw it in the semifinals, how they unloaded in that ball game. And what was it, 11-run 3rd inning against Sergeant Bluff Luton?
Yeah. Line towards center, and it gets past the center fielder. 1 run in. Here comes another one. Going to the plate with the throw. Won't get Benson. She scores from first. Lecoq scores. And Bates, a triple to break this game open.
Meyer thought she had a bead on it, and it just scoots underneath her glove and all the way to the fence. Hatchett has to hustle over and get it and relay it in, and the runners are rounding the bases, adding 2 more to the Husky total.
Deja Bates is a single and a double from the cycle this inning. With a home run and a triple. Yeah. She's got the hardest 2 out already.
Yeah. Wow, that would be something.
Katie Burns digs in for the Huskies. That one's high. 2 balls and 1 strike. 7-2 now your score. As Hoover, remember they sent 16. This is batter 11. And it was a similar inning, Laura, where just no pitch was going to land for Sergeant Bluff. And it almost kind of feels that way right now. That one's towards short. Smith has it over to first. Holds on. Is Wyant. And ADM now goes in down 5. A 7-run inning. And it was done mostly on home runs. Leading off the inning, Deja Bates goes yard. And then with 2 runners on, Hannah Blackford steps up. And she lifts a high fly to right. Wasn't anything Hatchett was going to do. As Blackford, 3-run homer. She's 2 for 3 on this game to go with a 2 for 3 performance in the quarterfinals and a 2 for 4 in the semifinals. And just like Coach Dillinger said, we were just so many outs away. Now all of a sudden Hoover's got to be feeling it. Now Des Moines Hoover, 21-7. They were 19-7 entering the state tournament. They won 3 games on the road because they didn't have a good enough record. They go and beat Bondurant for our 5-2. Winner set, who was in the state title game last year, winners in Class 4A.
Right.
Then they went all the way over to Council Bluffs area and beat Lewis Central 3-2.
Tell you what, sometimes, and we've seen this a million times in all kinds of sports, the team that gets hot down the stretch is the team that's going to win it. And this is a team that has come together and played really good softball down the stretch. And it doesn't matter to them where they're playing, that they've got the experience. They go on the road, no big deal to them. They're able to get into the state tournament and then put 2 games, really good games together. So far, another half game, they've got those bats going and have really strung those hits together.
I had one coach tell me this week that it's harder to get here than it is to win it. There's a liner fielded on one hop by Bates, and Emily Kay is out. And, you know, the thing about a travel team is you have no home diamond. One of the things Abby Nolte had told me was, you know, what's it like playing here? She goes, we've never played in front of a crowd this big.
Yeah, well, probably. And, you know, the travel games and the travel teams, they, you know, it's going to be maybe parents and a few friends and that kind of thing. But now you've got your whole community, your whole school backing you. That's got to be fun for these girls.
They did the same thing last year as sophomores, played on the Hoover team, and they were close last year, but this year, just a different level of intensity. That's hit towards second and fielded cleanly. Jade Sharp to Katie Burns. And now ADM needs that bottom of the order to produce, and they go 5-3 and 4-3, and it's the top of the order in Morgan Meyer here in the ADM Tiger 5th inning.
No, even with 2 outs, you got to start a rally. We've seen a lot of things happen with 2 outs in an inning. And that's the kind of mindset that you have to have, is you got to make something happen. Keep the lineup moving.
Popped up, left side, into the shadows in left field is where Carly Benson catches it. And we're through 5, 7-2, Hoover in control. And let's see how we got to 7-2. Well, it started back in the 4th. That's when ADM was able to string together a couple of hits. And that was Abby Halas, and then Sierra Wyant had base hits, and then the play at the plate where it was overturned after a review of umpires. That allowed that run to score. And then Hoover just used the home run. First, it was Deja Bates. Then it was Hannah Blackford. And that is how we got to 7-2. And these are featuring the Iowa girls. And there's a look at the Iowa boy. Chuck Offenberger, the pride of Greene County. I think that's a San Francisco Giants hat. Normally, I'm surprised it's not a Vanderbilt hat. I know he's a big Vanderbilt fan. Text everybody, Chuck, if you're watching, or tweet at him. I know he likes to tweet.
Does he?
Yeah.
All right, maybe
I've tweeted back and forth with him a few times.
Maybe if I knew how to tweet, I'd tweet at him.
You know how to tweet.
I'm getting better.
You are getting
better.
We had one earlier with you, and you know who also tweets? Brad Wells and Molly Parrott.
Yes.
And we were tweeting at them last night as they had 2 great games.
Man, did they have 2 really good games, and what a great job by them and the entire crew last night.
Hoover feels like they just were up to bat. It's going to be Redeker, Floyd, and Blackford. As the shadows start to nearly cover all of home plate area, the left batter's box is still in the sun. The right, where the right-handed batter stands, is in the shade. You can see those shadows real long. Well hit ball towards right is plucked out of the air by Emily Hatchett. Nice catch there. And there's 1 away here in the 6th.
Again, solid contact, but a good job by Hatchett to stay right with it, kind of drifting back towards the fence and able to reach up and pull that one in.
Taylor Floyd, she had a single back in the 5th. You know, Coach Furbach said these girls live for softball. She says it's nothing to ask them to do one more round at practice, one more hit station, one more set of infield. They do about a 90-minute practice, usually in the morning, done by 11 o'clock. Popped up, right side of the infield, playable for Halas, who hauls it in. That allows them to have jobs, have lives. She said some of these girls watch little brothers or sisters and can have jobs and have lives. You know, and there is something to be said about that.
Yeah, I think gone are the days of the 4-hour practices anymore. I don't think that players will stand for it, number one, but I also think there's a lot of things going on in these kids' lives that to devote that much time to your sport is awfully tough anymore.
Nice rise pitch from Halas as Blackford swings and misses. And I think if this game was maybe 3-2 or 4-2, I would think Coach Dillinger would have walked Blackford, but he's letting Halas pitch to her, and he gets her to ground out to Halas. On to Wyant, and Blackford's retired. We've played 5.5. Hoover in control.
You won't find it written in the sky.
Art can be seen as so foundational to civilization.
You can't buy a ticket to it tonight.
You just had an electrifying impact on me.
It's harder and harder to see what's true, but it's never been easier when I'm with you. Yeah, it's harder and harder to doubt these things.
What we found was amazing.
When I see the smile run across your face and the sunrise lights up another day,
why not be absolutely outrageous?
And it came like a razor blade. It's
art is a mirror of the experiences of being here.
Beautiful Friday evening here as we approach the 7 o'clock hour in the Central Time Zone. 7-2. A 7-run 5th. Big inning for Hoover. 2 errors for ADM, or 1 error for ADM. First pitch is swung on and fielded and thrown. Excellent defensive play by Jade Sharp to record the out on Abby Halas.
This Hoover team has done it all season long defensively. And they're just fundamentally sound on fielding ground balls.
The changeup is in there for a called strike on Sierra Wyant, the first base person. Got to clear up something here. A Hoover Husky. Beth Haig is watching. And Beth, you know Beth.
Yes.
And I said that Chuck Offenberger is wearing the San Francisco hat. Turns out Chuck's nephew, I didn't realize this, is Tony Watson, former DCG pitcher who's now with the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, nice.
Watson had a really good contract, played for the Pirates for a number of years.
Yes.
I think he was with the Dodgers last year during the World Series run, and now he's a Giant. Popped up on the infield. Blackford calls, corrals, and makes the out.
Well, thanks, Beth, for that information, because that, you like to know when you have some local players drafted playing in the major leagues and what connection and all of that and where they are now, and so that gives us a little bit of an idea.
Well, the most famous Hoover Husky, when you talk about drafted players, would be Hellickson, Jeremy Hellickson.
Yeah.
He's had a decent career. He's made some money.
You wonder if he is tuned in and watching right now.
If it's between starts, maybe. Towards Ford, or Floyd in center, makes the catch. And ADM goes 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. And the Hoover Huskies are feeling it from Fort Dodge.
I love the way you talk about beauty and love.
What else is there?
Well, my family talk about money and violence.
Whatever I have to do, I'll fight.
Quite right.
You look like a woman who's been starved of fun recently.
What sort of man are you?
If you harbor thoughts of mischief, I insist that you divulge them.
She's very confident.
Isn't she?
Be elegant or die.
God, this is crazy.
Believe me, I've seen it all.
Everyone has shadows. The trick is to outrun them.
That was thrilling.
As a coach, you don't want to have crooked numbers on the board. There's a couple of crooked numbers there. 2 in the 4th, not really bad, but it's that 7 in the 5th that stands out. 7-7-2 for Hoover, 2-3-1 for ADM. So we go to bat here in the 7th inning. Hoover will send to the plate their 2-3-4 hitters, Sharp, Nolte, and Portinga. And the first pitch is a strike.
Hey, look at both of these teams, very young teams. Both teams just have one senior, ADM with just one senior, one junior. So you have to believe that both of these teams will be back in the mix again next year.
And, you know, you could, make a case of, you could only speculate about where coaches go and things like that. But when you're in one district and in another, the Regina job was open last year when John Protzman retired. That's a job, if Missy Furbach wants to move back home, she could maybe take if she was interested, Her dad was an assistant under Protzman after the Furbachs got done playing. But she's in the Des Moines system. She teaches at the Hoover School. She sees these girls. She's trying to build a program. Sometimes coaches want to build their own as opposed to live on something that's existing.
Well, and she has certainly turned around this Hoover program because they had fallen on hard times. They had trouble getting players out and fielding a team, and I think she's worked really, really hard to be able to put this all together.
Popped up in foul territory is Jade Sharp, and she's retired as the catch is made by Brooke Hickey. So Nolte will step in. And Hoover lost some games this year. They lost 12-2 to Ottumwa, 13-3 to Roosevelt, 15-5 to Ottumwa again. They left the Metro to play Ankeny Centennial and Ottumwa. Well, that's in the conference, but they did play Regina, Waterloo East. Otherwise,
it's all Metro.
It's all Metro schools.
Yeah.
And Ottumwa's in the CIML in that conference.
Right.
Popped up high in the air, drifting back towards right, has a chance, off the fence, off the right fielder. That's going to be a fair ball and likely an inside the park home run coming around. Here's the play at the plate, not in time. Abby Nolte with the home run in the title game. The hard way.
Boy, and a tough play for Hatchett because that ball was drifting on her, and she was up against the fence. The ball's moving on her as Nolte lifts this one and starts running the bases, and it just falls in front of her.
And when it bounces to the right of the right fielder, there is nobody around to help.
And you're right. You're in no man's land, and it's all yours. And I don't think she could locate it right away.
All right. She misread the wind, didn't she? She drop stepped that way, and the ball took off running that way. So when you go out to her, make sure she drop steps to her left because of the wind on her first drop step, okay? All right, let's get this next kid and get this thing out of here, all right? Get this over with right here, and then we come back and see if we can get 6. Let's go, get to work.
Coach Dillinger makes the way. Can't get a good look at his pants, though. He's one of the only coaches that still wears long pants. And he said he's always done that. He had a bout with skin cancer, and he said, I can't. I can't wear shorts. So he sits there, he calls the pitches. Very good understanding of pitching. He's got a good pitching knowledge, well respected around the state.
And he said, you know, I'll take the blame if I call the wrong pitch, rather than have the catcher and the pitcher work it out and have that pressure and that blame put on them. If something goes wrong, he goes, I'll take the blame all day long if we call the wrong pitch.
Popped up on the infield. That's a live ball. No,
foul ball.
Foul ball. Okay, I didn't see where it landed.
Yeah, it landed in fair, but it bounced foul. Nobody had touched it. Had the backspin on it. It rolled back.
I was watching
straight up the chute right here.
I was watching something else.
And everybody's talking. Everybody's
one ball, one strike.
Pointing to one another. You catch it. No, you catch it. And then nobody caught it and went foul, so it falls harmlessly.
The hardest one is those pop-ups with the catcher because of the spin. Ground ball to third is scooped and thrown over to first. Hickey to Wyatt. Hickey's made a lot of nice plays today.
She has, and that one was a short hop. She stayed right with it, kept the glove down, and made the good, strong throw.
Carly Benson. Her last at-bat was a single.
It seemed like everybody in that 5th inning had a base hit or got on base somehow.
Ripped foul, and the umpire hustles out of the way. We were going to talk about, I was about to say something about Ashley Tennant there because we were discussing the pitches. Coach had said, he goes, I let Ashley call some pitches during a couple of scrimmages, and he goes, she did a really good job. Asked Ashley about it, and she said, I did it, but I would be too scared if I call the pitch that the girl hits a home run on.
Well, and thus, Coach Dillinger saying, you know what, I'll take that on. And, and that's what some players think. I don't know if I want to have that responsibility. Let Coach do it.
Smith scoops it up, makes it look easy over to Wyatt. The Hoover Huskies are 3 outs away from a state title. Big hill to climb for ADM.
Attack the ball. Don't even think about it. Just attack the ball. Attack the ball.
You know, the experience of a coach, knowing when to say and when not to say. Because you notice, Coach could have been out there right away and huddled them. But he felt it was more important for his leaders to run that huddle.
All right, and you're right. I mean, he's got the experience. He's seen it all. He really has, and what a great coach he has been and is and will continue to be. And you just have to understand your team and know what the makeup of your team is and understand your leaders. Are they going to get in there and rally everybody? And, you heard him say it in the circle. Let's get out of this thing and let's go get 6.
It's a big hill to climb. The Huskies 3 outs away. Up 8-2. Swung on and missed. Brooke Hickey. It'll be Hickey, Busta, and Emily Halas. And if anybody gets aboard, it's Emily Kay. It's a freshman, an 8th grader, a sophomore, and a sophomore. Blooper to right. It's going to get down, and it's going to go past the right fielder and all the way to the fence. Running around second is Hickey. She's going for third. They're going to hold her at third. And almost a similar play as we saw in the top of the 7th happens here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, you said it's a big hill to climb for ADM, but what a great start for them as Hickey laces one to right field off the glove of Redeker.
Actually, I don't think she even got to it.
No, she didn't. I thought it hit off the end of her glove.
You keep doing your job, go get outs. Go get 3 outs. Yeah, never, and if she does bunt, you go 1. Huskies. Yeah, well, whatever you want to have.
Tough D on 3, 1, 2, 3,
Tough D, here we go.
Again, a coach deferring to her team. Whatever you want. You call what we're going to say when we break out. All right, so in that situation, she's talking about let her score if she's going to bunt it, because you cannot get outs at the same number that you need runs. You're down 6. If they score, they're only down 5 and the bases are empty. Well, I guess it would be a runner at first, but.
Well, and I don't think that they would bunt in this situation. I don't think you want to give up outs, because you have to know that Hoover's going to go, fine, we'll give you that run in exchange for the out.
Liner past second base and into the outfield. The run scores. Bryn Busta comes through with the RBI. Don't go away yet, folks.
Yeah, this is starting to get interesting. Base hit, just looped it into center field. That scores the run. Still nobody out.
Halas ripped foul. As we're after 7 o'clock. On a beautiful night here on Friday, July the 20th, 2018. First ball is called on Emily Halas. 8-8-2 for the Huskies, 3-5-1 for ADM. 1 run's already scored here in the 7th. Brooke Hickey leads off with a triple. Bryn Busta drives her in. Emily Halas at the plate. Nobody out. Ground ball towards short. Could be 2. They get 1 and not in time at first. So Halas, the fielder's choice, as the lead runner is erased.
And that's what Hoover is looking for. The ground ball stays down, doesn't take any hops. They get the force, could not get the turn. And they're willing to just say, give us outs. We don't care if you put runners on base. We're just looking for outs.
Now there's 1 out. And you're back where you started from with a run at first. The pitch is high to Emily Kay, a sophomore, and another freshman on deck, Aniston Smith.
When you heard Coach Dillinger said, just go and attack. Attack at the plate. Be comfortable, be relaxed, but attack that pitch.
Change up from Blackford. It's fouled back into the screen. The players for ADM said, what was it? You asked them, what was it like when Coach Dillinger showed up? And they said, the culture changed. We knew we could win. And here they are in the state title game.
You know, and sometimes that's all it takes, is just a change of the environment and the attitude, and bringing in an attitude of, yeah, we've got talent here and we can win. You guys have to believe. He believed in them.
Foul ball ripped down the line. One of his first players that he had at ADM didn't like what she was swinging at, did she? Or did he?
No, and he just took his hat off, and it reminds me very much of another guy that coached for a long time, Larry Niemeyer.
At Cedar Rapids Jefferson.
At Jeff, but he started out at Adel. And you get looks like that from Coach Niemeyer, and it's somewhat intimidating, but you know that what you've done.
Hannah Blackford picks the right time for her first strikeout of the game. It's the second out in the 7th, and now the Huskies are 1 out away from a state title. What does ADM have left from Aniston Smith? Fouled off, a ball and a strike.
Now she's just wanting to try to keep it alive, flip that lineup over back to the top.
She was 2 for 2 back in the quarterfinal game. Rise ball. Hard to keep up with that one up high. And now, ADM down to their last strike. The pitch. Ground ball to third. Over to first. Out! Huskies are your champions! For the first time since 1982. Don't stop believing. The 80s are back.
A group of players that has come together, 14 strong, and a very young team with only one senior. Hoover High School remains undefeated here at Harlan Rogers Field in the state tournament. That is 2 appearances, 2 state titles.
First time a Des Moines Metro school has won a title since Des Moines East in 2011. And the Huskies will go home with the champion trophy with an 8-3 win in the Class 4A state title game.
Now here's the last out, the ground ball to third base. Bates throws across the diamond and the celebration begins. As Hannah Blackford says, these Hoover Huskies are a lot like the Chicago Cubs. They hadn't been to the state tournament in a long time. That play was very reminiscent of Chris Bryant in the World Series, fielding that ball at third base, winning the World Series for the Cubs. Same kind of play. Bates over to Burns, and they pull off the victory and are state champs.
4A All-Tournament Team Medals is Farm Bureau Board of Director member Mark Buskol. Here is your 2018 Class 4A All-Tournament team selected by the Iowa Girls Coaches Association. From Hoover, Hannah Portinga. From ADM, Ashley Tennant. From Cedar Rapids, Xavier, Olivia Richards. From Newton, Emily Voltman. From Newton, Mackenzie Brown. From Sergeant Bluff, Luton, Chloe Black. From Sergeant Bluff, Luton, Emma Christensen. From Des Moines Hoover, Deja Bates. From Des Moines Hoover, Abby Nolte. From ADM, Abby Halas. And your 2018 Class 4A All-Tournament Team Captain from Des Moines Hoover, Hannah Blackford.
She had an incredible tournament, Hannah Blackford. In this game, Laura, she threw 7 innings, 78 pitches, no walks, 1 strikeout.
She did a great job. She's not overpowering by any means, and as you had mentioned, the 1 strikeout, but she just did a good job of locating pitches, didn't get herself into trouble, didn't really get out of sorts when they gave up those 2 runs, but she did a really nice job, not only in the circle, but at the plate as well. 2 for 4 in this game with a home run to go with her 4 for 7 performance coming into this game. It's not it wasn't a hard thing to say. She should be on the all-tournament team. Yeah. Also on that team were players from Newton and Sergeant Bluff Luton. Newton won 7-6 and 8. Newton was down 6-1 after 5 to take 3rd place. Well, Newton showed us yesterday or Wednesday that they certainly have the firepower to be able to come back when they get down.
I think we'll see Newton again, especially their first-year coach, former college coach.
In addition to receiving medallions, every participating player will receive a commemorative softball provided by Iowa Farm Bureau, title sponsor of the Girls Athletic Union. Presenting awards are members of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Board of Directors. Congratulations to the runners-up in Class 4A, head coach Rick Dellinger and the ADM Tigers on an outstanding 2018 softball season. And congratulations to your 2018 Class 4A State Softball Champions, head coach Missy Feuerbach and the Huskies from Des Moines Hoover.
There are mothers and fathers of this team that weren't even alive in 1982 when Hoover last won a state championship, but they were, no doubt about it, the champions here in Class 4A, Laura.
You know, we talked about what are the keys for them to win this ball game, and one of the keys was score early, score often, or score right away in the first inning if they could. Well, they didn't get that done, but they scored often in that big inning in the 5th inning, and that's what has done it all season long for them. They've had that big inning, and what a credit to this coaching staff and this young group of players.
A 7-run 5th was the difference in this ball game for the Hoover Huskies. The field was immaculate. The play was excellent. One great play after another. We've got 2 in the books, 1 more to go. Your Class 4A state champions, the Des Moines Hoover Huskies, are your 4A champs. So long from Fort Dodge for right now. Funding for the Iowa Girls High School Softball Championships is provided by
The path to greatness starts early. The Iowa Farm Bureau believes in Iowa's youth and their pursuit of greatness. That's why we're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Each student's effort is important, and when one rises, we all rise to a better Iowa.
Fairway, along with Nabisco, Frito-Lay, and Sara Lee, is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Girls Sports Championships. We congratulate all the schools and student athletes participating in this year's Girls High School State Softball Championships. Fairway, proud to care for the places we work and live. By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialists, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.